Welcome back, everyone. This segment is going to cover all I need to do for balancing and doing the design on the pedestal because it is very important. You have two or three heads going to be attached through their rods and the pivot that is coming outside of the brisket. First of all, they need to stay balanced, and second of all, like all three animals are going to be on one pedestal. So removing one should not cause the whole mount to be collapsing or falling to one side. It has to be balanced. Sometimes, we have to do some alteration to the form, or doesn't matter what we're doing, it needs to be balanced. So for that purpose, with the measurements that we need to apply from the top of the antlers to the bottom of the floor, like where the mount is going to be standing, because some houses they have restrictions for their height, so we have to follow the measurements they're giving us. So what I like to do, I like to hold the first head with the right angle. If you notice and look closer, you will see that I have wedged underneath where I attach my stand to the back of the mount, the block of wood that we put in there. I have wedged it to the point that the head is standing upright the way I want it. Now I'm visualizing standing back. That's why I brought the camera a little bit further behind so you can see. I'm standing back, visualizing where each head is going to be, where it's going to be attached, with the angle. And in this case, we're going to add some posts as they requested. So we got to measure everything. So by the time you're done, you don't have to go back and redo it, because then it's going to be a lot more difficult. So we got to do a lot of thinking, a lot of measuring, and balancing too. Sometimes balancing is just a matter of applying your work, putting it on the base, and see if it's going to be balanced or not, because you can't really guess the weight management or distribution on that little surface of the pedestal. You just have to apply it and see where you need to change it. And this was quite a bit of a job for me to be able to balance everything and still have some tilted scenery in there to make it more presentable and nicer to look at. So right now I'm trying to adjust the angle of the post that the bottom of this bigger Pere David Deer is going to be sitting on. If you notice, there is two rods sticking out of the Pere David brisket. I will be cutting one of them out. There's only one needed, and the thicker one. There was one thinner one and one thicker one. I got rid of the thin one and left the thicker one because it was just strong enough to hold up the deer. So it's just a threaded rod, basically for bolting it down to the scenery. And I'm not going to bolt it down. I'm just going to use a pivot pedestal. I'm going to make it pivoted, so it's going to be twisting. So for that reason, what we need a pipe, a female pipe, to be installed inside the top of that post, as you can see. Okay, I have made the pre-drill, and what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to use some Bondo and put some Bondo inside that pre-drilled hole that we created on top of that post, and then make sure that we are holding up that basically female pipe inside the post strong enough so it can hold up the weight of the Pere David Deer. About 3 or 4 strong lag screws have gone from underneath that plywood in the base on top of the pedestal to from bottom has gone into that post, a slanted post. So the post is quite strong right now. Now the Bondo has gone inside the hole with the female pipe. Now we're just going to be waiting for it and that's basically the rod. Simple, kind of like the same kind of rod that is sticking out of the deer. I was testing it right there. So now I'm going to test the balance, the first animal on the pedestal. So if you can see here, I'm trying to see if the weight distribution is properly or not. By screwing it down to the pedestal, I make sure that it's not, no accident is going to happen. Okay. Now the reason I don't want to bolt it down is because of that. You can see that I can twist around, and I can give that option to my client that he can adjust the angle of the head on the post. So now the second head on this pedestal is going to be this axis steer. This axis steer was mounted, and the video is on my channel a couple months ago. So we're not going to focus on mounting the axis steer. This was a combination mount, so the axis steer part of it was filmed and uploaded a couple months ago. Now this is the rest of that project, which has this Pere David Deer attached to it. So as you can see, the axis deer antlers are tall, and then we got Pere David sitting a little bit higher than that. And although the Pere David, you know, we have the ability to twist it around or pivot it around to get the best look, yet it won't give you the full freedom of spinning it around, because the antlers are going to hit, and then you can easily get the mount off balance because it's pivoted. So basically you just have to make sure you find the right spot for it. See, like right now it's fairly balanced, yet gives you the opportunity to or the options to turn that Pere David like to any kind of pose you like while you have it on the post without losing any balance. So basically, or before the neck of the Pere David hits the antler of the axis deer that is a little bit lower to it. So I had two projects going on at the same time. One of them was this, and the other one had 3 heads: axis deer, Pere David deer, and also a Sika deer. So now I have pretty much figured out exactly where everything needs to go right now, and I'm still managing maybe a couple of inches adjustment here and there, to that if it's needed, we have to apply it right now before we move on. See, we cannot do these adjustments when the mount is done. We have to do all of it when we're still dealing with the mannequin. Now I removed that stand piece of pipe that was attached to the back of the deer for the purpose of removing its weight, because it was creating some weight and it might give me a fake or false balance by the time we take it off later on, because it will be off eventually. Then it would get the mount kind of like unbalanced. So anyway, I'm gonna let you watch the rest of the video. I just wanted to show you what it takes to balance a couple of pedestal, basically shoulder mount on a pedestal. And if there is more, there's going to be more adjustment needed. So anyway, thank you very much for watching again, and we will see you tomorrow or sometimes this week for the next part. Have a good one. Please subscribe and support the channel, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.